That's located in Pottstown. Many of you may be familiar, if you're already watching the show, with where we're at. Maybe you've been in to check us out. If not, stop in, say hi. We're at 1494 North Charlotte Street, and it's right next to the Sunflower Cafe. If anybody stops out there for breakfast or lunch, pop on over and say hi. We've got a lot of different things going on at the center, and there's different people there on different days offering different services, different readings, different healing sessions. We also have a lot of classes and workshops. Some are in the evenings, some are on the weekends. The best way to stay up to date on the events that we're having are to go to the Facebook page. If you haven't liked us already, like us on Facebook. That'll keep you up to date. If you've already liked it, then stop into the events page and check it out. Coming up, we've got a couple great events. We have this coming Friday, we have our movie night. We're going to be showing a great movie, a great group of people getting together, and it's just a fundraiser for a local farm that takes in some rescue animals, and they do a lot of work in taking care of these animals and getting them out to better homes, giving them a better life than what they've previously had. Takes a lot of work, takes a lot of money. So we just do this occasionally as a fundraiser to get some money together. So the only cost for coming out to the movie is bring along a donation for the animals, leftover food, blankets, anything that animals can use, and there's all different kinds of animals there. So anything that you've got, if it's leftover vegetables from the garden, frozen food that you're not going to be using, boxed food you're not going to be using. There's cows, horses, pigs, goats. There's also different types of birds, rabbits, peacocks, chickens, turkeys, you name it. There's everything there, so anything would be appreciated. So all we're asking for is a donation to the animal fund and maybe a snack to share with the crew. We always have stuff there, but it's always nice if you can bring a little something to share. We're going to be showing The Last Airbender this week, and we're looking forward to it. It's a great movie. If you've already seen it, it's good to watch it again. There's great messages in that movie. On the 25th, which is a Thursday, we have our drum circle. That's once a month. It's usually the Thursday closest to the full moon at the end of the month. That's from 7 to 8. This coming Sunday, there's a chakra workshop, awesome workshop if you do any kind of healing work with anybody, massage, Reiki, or if you just want to work on some self-healing, or if you just want to learn the basics of the chakras. A lot of information in this class, so it is an all-day workshop. It goes from 11 to 5. Sign-up needs to be done by this Saturday, so check it out on the Facebook page. You'll get all the details on there. Later in the month, we have a Reiki Level 1 class coming up. That'll be also on a Sunday. That's Sunday the 28th, and that's a Level 1. So this is a great start if you're looking to getting into any of the healing modalities. So there's other events going on too, but check the Facebook page and you'll see what they are. There's aura photography coming up. There's a sound meditation coming up. A lot of different things. So like I said, check the Facebook page, look up Enlightened Path, and you'll be able to see everything that's going on. You can go to the website too. That's enlightenedpath-hc.com, and that'll also have the link to the Facebook page on there. So again, you can check the events. You can give me a call out there. It's 484-624-8095, and that's right to the center. If you have any questions on anything, you want to make appointments to see anybody, just give me a call or leave a message on the Facebook page, and be happy to get you set up or answer any questions. Today we're going to be talking about what the meaning of holistic is. We're going to be talking about the purpose for holistic health, where it originated, why it's so much better for us. There's a lot involved in holistic care, and it goes back a lot further than a lot of people realize. It's not just a word to throw around. So once I get talking about this topic today, feel free to call in with any questions or comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. The number to call in is 484-945-2605, and that's to call into the station during the show. So that's a number to use only during the show. Any other time, any other questions, you'd call me at the center or message me on Facebook. I do want to make one little mention of a holistic expo that's coming up. It's going to be in the beginning of August, and it's the Angel Days Spiritual Holistic Fair. It's up in Leesport. If you're familiar with the Leesport Farmers Market, they have this every year. I'm not sure what year they're on, but I know they've had it for a few years. It's been growing every year, and it's getting bigger and bigger. They have so much going on at this fair. There's a lot of different readers. There's Reiki healing, there's aromatherapy, there's crystal therapy, there's going to be angel art, a lot of things with fairies and dragons, and so much more than I could even list. They also have a lot of healthy food for sale. There's going to be, like if you're vegetarian or vegan, there's everything up there, anything that you can possibly think of, they're going to have. If you need any questions on that, you can call Kimberly Dawn. She's in charge of setting that up, and her number is 484-363-7356. Or you can get a hold of me at the center, and I can reach her also. And if you need the address, I can give you that, or you can get that from her. But if you're not familiar with the Leesport Farmers Market, it's pretty easy to find. And it's going to be the first weekend. It'll be Saturday the 3rd from 10 to 5 and Sunday the 4th from 9 to 4. It's only $5 to get in, so it's well worth it. And if they're doing it like they've done previously, I believe if you take an animal item like cat food or dog food or cat litter, bird food, something that's for pets, that there is a discount on the admission. So, I mean, $5 is very reasonable for what you're getting. There's so much to do when you get there. But you'll get an additional discount if you have a pet item. Kimberly can give you more information on that. So again, any questions, give her a call, or if you need her contact information or you need me to get a message to her, you can get a hold of me at the center, and I'd be happy to help too. If you want to be a vendor out there, she's still looking for more vendors, so you can give her a call. Or if you just have questions because you want to attend, you can get a hold of her or me, and either one of us will be happy to help. So, getting on to the topic of the show today. Holistic. We see the word all over, but do we really know what the meaning is? Holistic is a different approach to our health, to our well-being. The holistic approach has been around far more than modern medicine. It's been around for a long time. The holistic belief is not treating just one thing. Holistic is treating the whole. Holistic is understanding that the mental, the spiritual, and the physical are all one. And if one thing is out of balance, the others are going to be out of balance. So when we're working with a holistic approach, we're treating everything, the mind, the body, and the spirit. Sometimes it's conjunction with modern medicine, but a lot of modern medicine is treating just the body. It's treating the symptoms. It's not always getting down to the core of the cause to actually completely treat it. So when we're working with a holistic approach, it's teaching the patient that they're ultimately responsible for their own health and their own well-being. We learn that we all have our own healing abilities. We all have the ability within us, both spiritually and energetically, to heal ourselves and to take care of ourselves. We have to understand that the patient or the client, they're not a disease, they're a person. So they have to be treated as a whole. Sometimes there's underlying things that are causing the physical. There might be something emotional that is transmuting into a physical condition, or there might be a physical condition that's creating a problem with the emotional. There are times when modern medicine is needed. We're certainly not ruling that out. Sometimes it's relieving the pain. Like if we're trying to holistically or energetically heal something, you're not as receptive to that if you're in a lot of pain. So sometimes the pain has to be brought down first, and then you're more open to the other healing. It also takes teamwork. It's not just the doctor telling the patient what they have to do. It's teamwork to determine between the two of you what the best approach is to get to the root of the problem. And that takes the two of you working together. That's not just a bunch of tests. It's also talking and understanding. And you have to get to the cause of the condition, not just the symptoms. There's a lot of different things that are used together when you're talking about treating both the mind and the body and the spirit. I mean, we have spiritual counseling for the spiritual part of it. We have different things that'll work with the mind. You've got aromatherapy, acupuncture, Reiki, pranic healing. A lot of things will work with the physical. You've got acupuncture, massage, craniosacral therapy. A lot of these different things work together. It's best to see it as a whole unit, which is where the word holistic comes from. There's so many choices that we have out there, and it's gotten so easy to think that there's a quick fix. We can do whatever we want. We can eat whatever we want. We can live however we want, and if something goes wrong, there's a quick fix for it. And that's where things start to go downhill. That's when your health will start to deteriorate. Your body starts losing its ability to work with its own healing energy. It starts to break down. So we have to realize that living holistically, living what's best for our physical and our emotional and spiritual is a package deal. It's about taking charge of our own health by being responsible for what we're eating and what we're doing daily. It's about the stress levels that we're dealing with. If you look way back, holistic treatments and dealing with the connection of the mind, the body, and spirit, that's how it was originally done. Before we started getting into the modern medicine where we've got all these, quick fixes, or at least they think it's a quick fix, before we had all that, it was treated more as a whole unit. And if you go back as far as 5,000 years ago to India and China, they were very big into living in harmony with nature to keep the body and the mind and the spirit working as one unit. If you go back to the 4th century BC, Socrates, he warned against treating just one part of the body. And it said, "For the part can never be well unless the whole is well." If we have an issue with the heart, and while you're working on that issue with the heart, with the quick fixes, with the modern medicine, there's other things that heart's affecting. There's other things that are being weakened. There's other things that are not being taken care of. And if that's all you're working on, if you're just working on the physical part of taking care of the heart, the physical part of the heart, you're not taking care of all the other things that it's affecting. You're not taking care of the emotional issues that are coming about because of the heart having a physical problem. You're not looking at maybe that issue stemmed from an emotional issue. Maybe it goes back to emotional traumas that you might have gone through, or maybe it's just a physical manifestation of your stress level, of things that have been going on in your life. So it's not just the physical body that needs to be treated, it's also that emotional part. It's the stress that needs to be brought down. It's the old injuries, those emotional injuries that need to be healed. It's all connected, and the heart's just a good example to use. But it could be other organs in the body, it could be the back, whatever your physical issue is, there's connections to the emotional, there's connections to your spiritual. If you think about how you're feeling when you're stressed and you're run down and you're tired and you haven't been getting enough sleep, you've been overdoing it at work, when you start getting run down like that, you're more susceptible to picking up other illnesses. You're more likely to catch somebody else's cold, or your immune system is down, so you're more likely to pick other things up. So if you can work on the stress level, which there's many different ways to work with the stress level, that works with the physical body. We also need to look at the spiritual aspect of our faith, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's specific to any religion. Whatever our faith is, whatever your faith is, you have to have faith in something. And whatever it is that you have faith in, if that's dwindling or running low, or maybe you're losing it for some reason, that starts bringing down the physical body as well. So we have to keep it all in line to be the best that we can be, to be the healthiest that we can be, to be the happiest that we can be. If you're not feeling good, if you're feeling run down, that affects your happiness. That affects your day-to-day. You don't smile when you're not feeling good. And that's perfectly understandable. But if we can get to where we're feeling better, then we're feeling happier. And the happier we are, the healthier we're going to be. Because it's all hand in hand with each other. And it wasn't until like the 70s that holistic actually became a common word in our vocabulary. To me, I thought it was around a lot longer than that, but in looking into it, the actual word holistic was not common until the 70s. They used the word holism in the early 1900s, and that meant entities greater than and different from the sum of their parts. It was shortly after that when they started to go back, because they kind of started getting away from the concept of holistic, of the treating everything as a whole. They had started to get away from that. That was like Western society, 20th century. The scientific, medical, that all started to become more prominent, and it became more of a shift to germs are what's causing disease. It became more a process of killing the germs and using synthesized drugs to do that. And people started believing that they could get away with the unhealthy life choices because, like I said, there was a quick fix. Now they didn't worry so much. There's always a quick fix. I think they're starting to, as a whole, come back to the realization that a lot of times, a lot of the cures that they're coming up with or have come up with, sometimes they're more harmful than the actual disease itself. If you listen to some of the side effects that some of these cures, these medications cause, it's pretty scary sometimes. If there's a more holistic approach to taking care of these things that's safer, that doesn't have all these side effects, or maybe it's just something that will work in conjunction with the medications. Maybe you wouldn't need as strong a dose, or maybe not for as long. The less we can expose our bodies to the unnatural things that it's not prepared to take in, the better. If there's other ways that we can work on these things that are wrong with us, and start getting out of that mindset that there's always a quick fix, that it's okay to live however we want, to take the easy way out because there's always a quick fix. We've got to start realizing that those quick fixes, they're not always going to work. They're only going to treat a small portion of what's wrong, and sometimes their quick fix is going to cause even worse things than what they were trying to fix. So the different things that we can look into for treating everything as a whole, if you can see some of the things that I've got out here, there are some things that'll work with bringing your stress level down. That's one of the biggest things that we deal with in today's society. Everything's so fast-paced. The economy is really tough, so there's a lot of people stressing over financial issues. There's a lot of lack of time that we have left for ourselves because they're so busy. Everything is so fast-paced, and we're always trying to do this and do that, and we're not taking the time for ourselves. We're not finding that time. We're going to run ourselves down. We're going to run ourselves into the ground. We need to step back every now and then and reevaluate where our time's going. We have to start allowing a little bit of time for ourselves. Everything else is still going to be there. If you take just an hour or so here and there for yourself, all those other issues you were dealing with, they're still going to be there. They're still going to wait for you. You still need to rejuvenate yourself. You still need to keep yourself going. The better shape that you're in, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, the better you are to approach these other issues that you have to take care of. All these daily things that we need to do. So I think the stress level is one of the first things that we need to work on. And some of the great things for dealing with stress is meditation. Meditation can be used for a lot of different things, and that's including healing different things, because it starts at the stress level, and it starts the healing process. It allows us to find a better focus. It allows us to be able to absorb any other modalities that we're using for the healing, whether it's the energy or the massage or crystals or aromatherapy, whatever it is that we're using. When we can learn to allow ourselves to meditate a little bit, that brings everything down. That opens us up. So if you can find 10 minutes a day for meditation, even that will start bringing your stress level down and help you to handle it better, to react to it better. We can't change a lot of what's going on around us. There's not a lot that we can do about all the outside stuff. What we can work on and what we can change is what's going on in here. We're in control of what's going on in here. We're the only ones that feel what's going on inside. A doctor can look at you and they can measure your heart rate and they can test this and they can test that. They don't always know what you're feeling. They don't always know the emotional part of it. They don't always know how you're coping with, if it's pain that you're dealing with, how you're handling that. They can give you pain meds and just say, here, take these and you'll feel better. You'll go to La La Land and it won't bother you. And it is important to get that pain level down, but we also have to work at it from inside as well. We don't want to just mask it. We want to heal it. The pain medications will help to get to that level, but it's not something that we need to stay on. And if it's just minor, we need to learn that if it's just minor, there are other ways we can take care of it. We don't have to rely on these heavy medications that are going to cause other symptoms. We don't have to be so quick to jump to take them. If it's severe and you need them, absolutely. But if it's something that we can handle in a better approach, we need to learn how to acknowledge that, how to understand that. Some of the other things that we can use for both spiritual and physical and even emotional issues would be the pranic healing. If anybody has heard anything about pranic healing, that is a wonderful energy healing, very similar to Reiki, but it's used more as a no-touch method. It's been around for quite a few years. It uses the prana, or the life energy that we all have, and it's used to create a balanced, healthy you. It helps to clear and correct any imbalances that we have. It works with your aura. If anybody's familiar with the aura, that is your outer energy. If you've ever had aura photography or you've seen aura photography, you can see the different colors. Sometimes you can see gaps where there's it's not strong in one spot, or maybe there's a hole in one spot. They can use pranic healing to fix that and to strengthen the outer area, which in effect affects the inner. So that's one of the things that can be used for many minor things: headaches, colds, digestive stuff, back pain, more serious things, asthma, blood pressure, even addictions, tension, stress, again. Reiki also is amazing for relaxation, for reducing stress. Reiki is a universal healing energy. Some of you have already seen me do long distance Reiki on here. If you're not familiar with Reiki, stop out to the center. Talk to me. I'd love to, give you some more information on it. Reiki is a wonderful healing process. It's using, again, the life force energy. It's a universal healing, and that can be used for physical, emotional, and spiritual healing as well. I've seen some amazing things done with both the Reiki and the pranic healing, so either one of these are available at the center. I have myself and a couple other people that do these. I don't do the pranic healing, but I do have a lady that's wonderful, and she does some amazing work with that. If you look on the events page, you'll see the days that she's in. Another way to approach from both a physical and spiritual would be massage, reflexology, craniosacral therapy. Reflexology works from the feet and from the hands. That actually touches on all the different meridians and the acupressure points. In our hands and our feet, we are connected to every organ and every nervous system part of our body. So anything that is needed to be touched internally can be done through the hands and the feet. And people who are trained in reflexology, they know all the little spots to hit. I've had the reflexology on my feet done, and I had a bad kink in my shoulder. And I had massage, and honestly, it felt good, but it didn't quite relieve what I was dealing with. So I had somebody say, well, let me try some reflexology on you. And they worked on my feet, and she knew just where to go to reach my shoulder. And she never touched my shoulder, but when I was done, my shoulder felt better. So that let me know that there really is a correlation to the different points of the body and the hands and the feet. Craniosacral therapy is a very gentle touch of a massage, usually in the back of the head. We have a fluid that runs through the body, and this will relieve a lot of tension. It can relieve a lot of pain. It can deal with migraines, headaches, chronic neck pain, stress and other tension-related disorders, brain and spinal cord injuries, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, TMJ syndrome, scoliosis, or even orthopedic issues. So many different things. They learn when they're being trained through this, and it takes quite a bit of training to learn the craniosacral, but they learn to feel the flow of the fluid, and it's such a gentle touch that it's amazing the effects that you feel, and it feels like they're barely touching you, but you really feel it when you're done. You feel like you've had a deep tissue massage. So those are different ways that can get to both the physical and the emotional. Then we also have a lot of different homeotherapy things. We have aromatherapy, herbs, a lot of different remedies that you can create yourself. And these are using a more natural effect to deal with pain or to deal with allergies, colds, aching muscles. There's so many things that are out there right at our fingertips. They're in our backyard. They're in the woods. They're at your local grocery store. They're so readily available to us, and we don't take advantage of them. So these are a lot of things that can help with the physical and also the emotional. There are things in here that will help with depression. Helping us to even deal with the day-to-day things that we deal with. It's the way we react to them. Sometimes when we can have a better feeling about ourselves, when we're feeling better, we can deal with the outside things better. Like I said, we can't change the outside things, but we can change what's going on here, which in effect changes our reaction to the outside things. It doesn't make it so hard to accept them or to push them away. Sometimes there's things that we need to separate ourselves from, and we tend to think that we have to deal with them, and a lot of times we don't. There are things that we have to learn to are negative, they're not good for us, and we need to separate from them. Maybe it's people in our lives. Maybe you have some negative people that are bringing you down. When we start caring more about what's going on in here, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, when we start caring more about that, and we start taking care of that, we start finding that we are a little more important, we do deserve a little bit better. We start to realize that we don't necessarily have to put up with a lot of the things that we do. We can walk away from things. Granted, there are things that we can't walk away from. You know, if you've got your job that you need to take care of, and maybe there's responsibilities that you have there. We have families that we need to take care of. We've got people that are counting on us and relying on us. But there's still a lot of negative things that are out there that we can walk away from. We don't need to let these things bring us down. That's part of treating everything as a whole. If you're getting yourself into a good condition, if you're getting yourself balanced and you're still exposing yourself to all these negative things, it's going to start bringing you back down again. Once we've got ourselves into that good state of mind, we want to stay there. The more we do it, the easier it is. But if we keep letting ourselves be bombarded by negative people, negative events, if there are certain things that trigger or push your buttons, why expose yourself to it? If you know certain things are going to upset you, certain things are going to anger you, why subject yourself to it? Why allow that opportunity? If you know that, just for an example, violence towards animals really upsets you. I know it does me. That's just one example. So if there's a TV show that's coming on that's involving that, it may be just something to make you aware of what's going on somewhere, but you're still absorbing it. You're still allowing that. You're still exposing yourself to that. So don't watch that show. You can still be aware of it and acknowledge it and not let yourself get pulled into it. We know that there's a lot of bad out there. That doesn't mean that we have to be wrapped up in it. There's so many negative things happening in the world. We know that. But you know what? There's a lot of good things happening out there too. And when you start finding yourself getting into that holistic, lifestyle where you are treating the mind, the body, and the spirit, and you are taking care of everything, I think you'll find that you're paying more attention to the good things that are happening and not dwelling so much on the bad things that are happening. We don't hear enough of the good stories. Try making an example and share something good with somebody instead of telling somebody something bad happened. Instead of complaining about how bad your workday was, tell somebody about what a great experience you had coming home. You saw something beautiful. Find something good that happened during the day and talk about that. If you happen to catch a news story, they're very rare, but if something's out there that was good, somebody, jumping in and saving somebody, or this animal drugged somebody out and saved them, or something that was a good story, share that. Share that with your friends. Share that with your family. Share that with whoever wants to hear it. Let's start spreading that a little bit more. Let's really start thinking about treating everything as a whole. We can't just focus on one thing. You go to a doctor, they treat the physical. You go to a psychiatrist, they treat the mental. We've got to start realizing that they're all tied together. You can't treat one without treating the rest. We can't take care of one without taking care of the rest. And that doesn't mean give up your doctors, give up your psychiatrists. That just means start thinking about looking at the whole picture. Find a holistic doctor. There are not that many of them out there, but there are a few holistic doctors out there. If you have to continue going to a modern doctor, then start thinking of what you can do. What can you do to treat the rest? If they're focusing on the physical, what can you do to work on the rest? Everything has to be brought together as a whole. If we allow the physical part of us to just do whatever it's going to do, and we don't take care of that, if all we worry about is what we're thinking, and what our emotions are. The physical is just going to go downhill. We know that. If you don't take care of it, it eventually starts to wear out. I mean, look at the way you take care of a car to keep the car in the best condition. There's a lot of different things that have to be taken care of with that car. It's not just changing the oil or just putting gas in the tank. There's a lot more to it to keep it running at its best. If you put bad gas in the car, it's not going to run. If you don't keep air in the tires, you're going to have a flat tire. If you allow the air filters to get clogged, the air intake's not going to be right, and it's not going to run good. In order to keep it at its best, to keep it getting the best miles per gallon that it can get, it's all got to be taken care of as a whole. And we're better than our cars. We have to take care of us as a whole. We have to take care of all of it. And the only one that's going to do that is going to be you. We look out for our kids as they're growing up. We try to look out for their emotions, and we try to help them grow. We also keep them up to date on the physical part. But we forget about ourselves. And we forget that we also need to be taken care of as a whole. If we do the opposite and we take care of the physical, but we don't do anything with the spiritual and the emotional, we don't do anything with the mind, the physical body may be in great shape, but it's going to go downhill really quick if our stress level is still way up there, or we have no drive, we have nothing to strive for as far as our faith or our spirituality goes. And again, when I'm referring to faith and spirituality, that's not any specific religion. That's whatever your faith is, whatever keeps you going, whatever gives you hope. We need that, and we need that to be healthy. We deal with a lot of things early in life that may damage that. And we have to get to the root of what the damage was in order to fix it. We can't keep things buried. The more we keep them buried and we keep them down, the more they fester and they just trickle out. When they trickle out, it trickles into the physical. It starts to manifest itself into physical problems. When we can completely bring them to the surface, acknowledge them, heal them, and release them, then they're not here anymore. They're not there to trickle up. They're not there to poke an ugly finger out and point at us at the wrong time, or when some little thing triggers it and then it sneaks its ugly little finger out. We need to eliminate it completely. And we can't do that if we're going to keep it buried. When we start to realize the balance that there is between everything, the easier it is to take care of whatever issues that you're dealing with, whether it is physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever your issues are, they have to be treated as a whole. They have to be treated with love. It stems down to love is the basic healing tool that we have. We have to love ourselves. We have to be able to love others. We have to allow ourselves to be loved. If we don't have that, then the healing process isn't going to start at all. We have to start with the love. That's the basic for all of it is the love. We have to care about ourselves. We have to love ourselves enough to know that we're worth taking care of. We're worth having around. We have a purpose. We're here for a reason. Maybe you've had a close call, but you're still here. You're still here because you have a reason. You have a purpose. There's still something that you need to do for somebody else or for yourself, whether it's a lesson that has to be learned or something that you have to overcome or a lesson that you have to teach somebody else. You're here for a reason, you're here for a purpose. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's be the best that we can be so that we can be the best for others. So if you could just digest it, think about how it really makes sense that everything is connected. Everything physically, emotionally, and spiritually is connected, and we have to treat it all. And know that you're worth it. Know that you're worth it for yourself, you're worth it for your loved ones. Sometimes we all get into the we're not here for any purpose, that we're just taking up space. Nobody really genuinely cares about us because we're not worth it. We all have those moments, but you have to learn to snap yourself out of that and get back to knowing you're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose. If you weren't, you'd be gone. You would not be here. So let's find that purpose. Let's trust that there's something that we need to do. So let's take care of ourselves so we can get to that, so we can complete whatever it is that we need to do. You are worth it. I'm worth it. So I just want everybody to start taking care of themselves and to start treating everything as a whole. And if anybody has any questions, you can call me at the center. If you're not able to call during the show, that's fine. Call me at the center. It's 484-624-8095. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Or stop out. Stop out to the center. Get yourself away from the outside world for just a little bit. Come in and relax. Just sit down. Listen to some good, relaxing, soft music, and just give yourself a break. Come in and ask me questions. Come in and talk. Message me on Facebook if you're not able to get out. Maybe you're too far away. You can always call. You can always email. You can always drop a message on Facebook. So I kind of covered quite a bit, and I really hope that you can take even something, even if it's something small, away from this and do something good for yourself. Even if it's making one positive change, do something that's going to be positive for you, something that's going to take care of you. Try to think about what you can do to take care of yourself as a whole, how you can treat everything. Try some different things. Or if you've tried them and you know they work, keep using them. So that pretty much brings our show to a close, but I do want you to know that there's some great shows coming up after this one. We have the Mystic Talk from 6 to 7. We have Heaven Talks from 7 to 8:30, and Beyond the Veil from 8:30 to 9:30. So stay tuned in and watch some of these shows. They've got some great information on them. Some are reaching out to the other side. Some are paying attention to what's going on in the world. But see what they've got to offer. They've got some great information. Next week is our third Tuesday, I believe. So if it's the third Tuesday of the month, that's our long-distance Reiki day. So if there's anybody out there that's looking for some healing energy and you're looking to receive some Reiki, give me a call, drop me a message, let me know what you'd like it for, even if it's just some real basic information. I don't need details. and I'll be happy to put you on the list for sending out some Reiki next week. You don't need to be here. You don't even need to be watching the show. As long as you're open to it and you're accepting it, I can send the Reiki long distance, and whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you'll be able to receive it. So if you're looking for it, just let me know. Call me at the center. Again, that's 484-624-8095, or drop me a message on Facebook and let me know, and I'll be happy to add you to the list. So look forward to next week. And again, that'll be the long distance Reiki day, so I'm looking forward to sharing some of that energy with you. And just come on back next week and watch the show. And I'd like to thank you for stay tuned today, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye.